Today I'm going to go over an article titled "Why Are Good Men So Difficult to Find?" And this is yet another article written by a middle-aged woman. There are so many women in their 30s and beyond who want to settle down, get married, and raise a family. But they can't because good men are hard to come by. And men, in particular, don't want to settle down now that it's so easy for guys to have access to intimacy. Thanks to dating apps like Tinder and other similar services, as well as social media, women have the ability to receive non-stop 24/7 365 days a year attention from guys, and we all know what that attention and validation has done to so many women's egos. Your average woman who is only a 6 at best, not bad, kind of cute. She can get a lot of guys like that. She posts pictures of herself on social media and dating apps and all that. Even a good-looking guy will not be able to compete for the amount of attention. The dating scene is even bleaker today than it was back then. All too often, a woman moves in with a guy, hoping they'll get somewhere, and 2 years later he tells her he's not ready for marriage and kids just yet. Well, it's probably the average guy who has some options, and has some success and status, and some self-worth after 2 years of living with the same woman. Can you blame him for not wanting to marry and have children? When you move in with your girlfriend, it's pretty much like you're already married for all intents and purposes. I've lived with girlfriends, so I know what this is all about. Trust me, it's a pain after the whole beginning where everything is supposed to be magical and perfect. Going into the situation because you believe that for the first time, it'll be great to live together because we'll be so happy and have pleasure all the time and everything will be so much fun. You're not going to hook up as much as you used to. She'll be there watching your every move all the time. She'll be questioning where you're going. She'll want your attention all the time. She'll be nagging about stupid things like leaving the toilet seat up, not taking out the trash on time, just stupid little things. Has online dating made it easier to meet people? Correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, a large portion of the women who use social media and dating apps do so purely for attention. They're doing it to boost their confidence, to gain attention and validation. Single women are more equal and empowered than ever before, with unprecedented romantic, reproductive, and economic autonomy. All of the attention and validation they receive from dating apps. If the guy isn't perfect on every level, move on. They have the mindset that there is an infinite supply of guys for them, and of course they spent their prime years turning down the good guys in their age range. But now they're in their 30s and assume it'll be just as easy, which it isn't. And because a lot of guys in their 20s have been jerked around and mistreated, they're not going to settle because they've learned better. More guys are learning these things every day, and it's amazing how much this community has grown. The traditional relationship exchange has broken down over the last few decades. It used to be that men and women each had something the other really needed. Men needed access to pleasure, and women needed access to resources. For men, pleasure was traditionally expensive. However, it is now inexpensive, and this has changed everything. Erotic pleasure became cheap as a result of 3 technological developments: the invention of the pill, which divorced fertility from lovemaking, the emergence of mass-produced high-quality explicit material, and the arrival of online dating sites, which made it easier for men to find willing romantic partners. In some ways, erotic liberation is a wonderful thing, but it can also turn men into jerks because women don't expect much in return for access. Today, most men can have all the intimate relations they want for very little cost. No fancy dinner required. A lot of women appear to have their acts together these days, says economics professor Michael Greenstone in Cheap Sex. Well, yes, absolutely, the stats show that more and more women are getting advanced degrees and all that, and men aren't as much. But men have good reasons for that. It doesn't make men lazy or stupid. We're simply choosing a different path, that's all. But I've told you guys countless times about women and status, and those various degrees are so important in terms of status, right? Let's say he had a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and was making 90 grand a year, okay. But he also has student loans that he has to pay every single month versus a guy who pursued the option of a trade, has no debt, but he makes 110 grand a year and has no debt in this day and age. The average woman will choose the guy who makes less money, has more debt, but has a degree. The argument is that he will make more money in time. However, men are no longer required to prove their worth as providers. They can have all the intimate relations they want. Being the good guy here, being kind and supportive and loyal, and being the nice guy and the marriage material guy, got me nowhere. Guys are sick and tired of being treated like second-class citizens, and this will continue until there is some sort of balancing act in place. Don't forget to hit the like button to help spread the word about this video. Thank you for taking your daily dose of red pills, and remember that a red pill a day keeps bad poker hands away. So have a good rest of your day and cheers.